What if I told you that the greatest holy wars in history were actually a series of fiascos, misunderstandings, and absurd comedies? The Crusades. Brave knights marching to save the Holy Land, or a band of adventurers on one of history's worst planned, most chaotic, and tragicomic road trips. Join us as we uncover how this sacred mission devolved into a pickling crisis, the sacking of the wrong city, and leadership by a divinely inspired goose.
It all began in 1202 with a call from Pope Innocent III. The goal? Conquer Egypt and then march on Jerusalem. Thousands of knights assembled, but there was a small problem. They needed ships to get to Egypt, and the Venetians, history's most aggressive party planners, quoted an astronomical price, 85,000 silver marks. When the Crusade leaders realized they had far fewer participants than expected, they knew they couldn't pay the bill. At this point, the cunning Doge of Venice, Enrico Dandolo, said, "I have a proposal. In exchange for part of your debt, would you mind capturing the Christian city of Zara for us?" Despite the Pope's warning, "Don't you dare, I'll excommunicate you," the Crusaders attacked another Christian kingdom to pay their bills. Just then, the exiled Byzantine prince, Alexios IV Angelos, appeared on the scene. "Put me on the throne," he said, "and I'll pay your debt, give you troops, and even unite our churches." For the broke Crusaders, the offer was too good to refuse. And so, the army that was supposed to go to the Holy Land diverted its course to Constantinople, the richest Christian city in the world. The prince took the throne, but couldn't deliver on his promises. The treasury was empty, and the people did not want these Latin barbarians in their city. The result? History's biggest case of "I forgot my wallet." When the Crusaders couldn't get their money, they chose the most barbaric way to collect the debt. For 3 days, they looted, burned, and destroyed Constantinople. A holy mission had turned into one of history's greatest robberies. The Fourth Crusade never even got close to its target. In fact, it ended up devastating the wrong city, on the wrong continent, for all the wrong reasons.
If the incompetence of the nobles surprised you, prepare for what the pure faith of the common folk could achieve. The year is 1212. Two shepherd boys, Stephen from France and Nicholas from Germany, claimed that God had appeared to them. Their mission? To gather thousands of children and march to the Holy Land. They had no weapons, no plan, but they had an unshakable belief. Just like for Moses, the Mediterranean Sea would part before them. Historians today still debate whether the participants were actual children or the pueri, Latin for the landless poor. But the outcome remains the same. Thousands of people followed this naive dream south. Most died of starvation and disease along the way. Those who reached Genoa experienced a great disappointment when the sea did not part. Some of the survivors were sold into slavery, while others were never heard from again. Just a few years earlier, another group, called the People's Crusade, had chosen a goose and a goat, which they believed were guided by the Holy Spirit, as their leaders. This shows how both the worldly ambitions of the nobles and the pure but dangerous faith of the people could lead to the same tragicomic fiasco. One was dragged to disaster for money, the other by following a goose. But the absurdity of the Crusades doesn't end there. Here is a quick tour of historical madness. The Holy Roman Emperor Frederick Barbarossa, the most imposing leader of the Third Crusade, drowned in a shallow river in Anatolia, likely due to the weight of his armor. His army wanted to bury his body in Jerusalem. The solution? Pickling the emperor in a barrel of vinegar. But the plan failed again. As the body decomposed, his flesh was buried in Antioch, his bones in Tyre, and his heart and internal organs in Tarsus. The great emperor was distributed across 3 different cities. While besieging Kerak Castle, Saladin learned that a wedding was taking place inside. The wedding hosts, as a gesture of courtesy, sent the Sultan a slice of wedding cake. Saladin's response was legendary. He asked which tower the bride and groom were in and ordered that not a single stone be fired at that tower for the duration of the siege.
the Holy War was paused for a slice of cake. Godfrey of Bouillon, the future first king of Jerusalem, was attacked by a giant bear on his way to the Holy Land and nearly died. This was a completely random event, having nothing to do with the Holy Mission. During the siege of Antioch, the Crusaders found themselves in the strangest situation in history. They had captured the city, but not the citadel within it. Just then, a Muslim army arrived from outside and besieged the city. So the Crusaders were simultaneously besieging a castle inside the city while being besieged themselves outside the city. A siege within a siege. And finally, at the siege of Ma'ara, Crusaders on the brink of starvation found a practical yet horrifying solution: eating the enemy soldiers they had killed. Yes, cannibalism.
So, what do the Crusades tell us? Perhaps they show how grand ideals, when combined with human flaws, poor planning, and the universe's dark sense of humor, can descend into chaos. History is often stranger and more absurd than fiction. To catch more historical absurdities like this, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and turn on notifications. You choose the next topic in the comments.